Our next guest is set to become Canada's first Inuk heart surgeon. She is 28 years old, by the way. Donna May Kimmaliardjuk, known as Dr. K to her colleagues, is a fourth-year resident at the University of Ottawa's Heart Institute. Donna May is joining us now live from Ottawa this morning. Good to have you with us on the show.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.
All right, I want you to take us back a little bit. I understand your grandfather was the inspiration behind why you wanted to become a doctor in the first place. Tell us that story.
Yeah, so I was 6 years old, and I remember talking with my father and asking him why I'd never met his father, the one grandparent I didn't know. And he explained to me, as best as he could to a 6-year-old, that his father had died of ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease, when my father was very young. And I remember thinking, I don't want to lose my parents to illness, and I don't want other kids to lose their parents to illness, so I want to do something to help them, and I want to be a doctor to be able to help people. And that thought just stuck with me all through elementary school and high school, and I was fortunate that I enjoyed math and science and went into a life sciences program at university where I kept that thought. I just want to become a doctor and I want to help people. So that's where it led me to this path of now becoming a heart surgeon.
Unbelievable. What attracted you to the heart, Donna May?
So in medical school, we learned about the heart and lungs, and I just fell in love with the heart. I loved studying it. I loved the physiology. And then I got to shadow some open heart surgeries as a medical student, and I thought it was fascinating. It's very challenging surgery, very intricate, and I just loved the people. It felt like it would be a good fit for me.
I love that you fell in love with the heart. I love that you worded it that way. What does it mean to you to become Canada's first Inuk heart surgeon?
I mean, it's, what can you say? It's very flattering, right? It's very exciting, and it's an honor. Of course, on my journey to becoming a doctor and becoming a heart surgeon, I never thought of it that way, that I'd be the first of this. So it's an adjustment a bit, something I'm growing into, that title. But I've been so fortunate to have such love and support from family, friends, coworkers, and strangers. So it's very exciting.
I understand you did a medical elective in 2 small communities in Nunavut. Can you tell me a little bit about the access of care in a remote community?
Absolutely. So I went to my 2 home communities, actually, Chesterfield Inlet and Rankin Inlet in Nunavut, and I got to see really both sides of care, from the patient perspective and from the healthcare providers. So I can really empathize with both sides. As patients, it can be intimidating or difficult to go to a healthcare center in a very small community where everyone knows everyone's business. It can also be difficult sometimes dealing with healthcare providers who may not be trained on how to give culturally appropriate care. On the other hand, as a healthcare provider, it is difficult sometimes to make the right diagnosis with such limited resources. You order blood work and it can take days to come back, and you're really relying on your clinical skills and maybe an x-ray to make diagnoses that down here in a tertiary care center, we can use ultrasounds and CTs to make those diagnoses. And something just as basic as the weather really affecting your ability to provide care, because if you have someone you need to send down south to a big hospital for specialized care, but if there's a blizzard happening, you could be stuck with that patient for days or weeks in that community. So there's a lot of challenges on both sides, and I don't yet have the answers as to how to improve that, but I think being aware of the challenges is the first step.
What would be your advice for people who are living in remote communities in this country who want to pursue a similar path as you?
Well, my advice would be go for it. I mean, don't be intimidated by your dreams of becoming whatever you want to be, even if you don't know anyone else in the field who's doing what you want to do. I had no one in my family in healthcare. Going through medical school, I didn't know any Indigenous surgeons, and I didn't know any female heart surgeons, but I didn't let that stop me. So please go after your dreams, but understand it's going to take a lot of hard work and dedication and a lot of support. So I think my message too is to parents and teachers to engage our youth in education, get them excited about it, and really support them, because with support, I think you can see that really the options are limitless for our youth to become what they want to be.
Donna May, or Dr. K, congratulations. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.